Long before humans walked across the earth, the world was silent and wild. Before modern forests covered the continents, our planet was a completely different world. Giant forests stretched across enormous landscapes, housing creatures that time has long forgotten. Volcanoes rose beyond the horizon, shaping the early geography of our young and volatile Earth. Strange creatures moved through the wilderness, each evolving to find its place in the sun. And among them, a new kind of animal was beginning to appear for the first time. Animals with feathers, animals with wings, the first pioneers of the ancient skies. Animals that would eventually conquer the skies and change the face of the planet forever. These were the ancient ancestors of birds, the living bridge between dinosaurs and flight. The first birds did not look exactly like the birds we recognize today. Their bodies still carried many features inherited directly from their fierce dinosaur ancestors. But they possessed something extraordinary, the ability to leave the safety of the ground. Every jump and every short glide was a step toward mastering the sky's vastness.
Every uncertain landing was a lesson learned in the long history of evolution.
And one of the most famous creatures from this ancient transition was Archaeopteryx.
Around 150 million years ago, Archaeopteryx lived in the ancient forests of Europe.
It had feathers and wings, but it also possessed sharp teeth and a long tail. It looked like a bird, yet many of its characteristics were unmistakably dinosaur-like. Its flight was likely rudimentary, far from the effortless glide of a modern hawk. Every movement was part of a much larger, global, evolutionary experiment of flight. Over millions of years, wings would become stronger and bodies would become lighter. But not every ancient bird chose the sky. Some returned to the deep water. Hesperornis was one of them, living in the ancient seas of the Cretaceous period. Its wings had become small and useless for flight, but its legs were powerful. Using its feet like engines, Hesperornis turned the sea into its primary hunting ground. Above these ancient seas, another extraordinary bird ruled the rugged coastlines of the world. Ichthyornis looked like modern seabirds, but inside its beak were sharp, predatory teeth.
It could fly, dive, and seize fish, proving that birds were already highly specialized.
The ancient world was changing, and soon, everything they knew would vanish forever. A massive asteroid struck the planet, bringing an end to the age of dinosaurs. The climate changed. Food chains collapsed. But some birds were small enough to survive. They inherited a world that had suddenly become empty, waiting for new rulers. Millions of years later, another giant appeared. A bird that did not need wings. Gastornis. A huge, flightless bird that towered above the mammals of its time. It had a massive head and a beak once thought to be for hunting. But Gastornis was likely a peaceful herbivore, using its beak to crack tough seeds. In South America, a very different kind of giant was evolving. A predator. The Phorusrhacids, the terror birds, built for speed, pursuit, and the ultimate kill. High above ancient South America, a giant once ruled the prehistoric sky. Its name was Argentavis magnificens, a true titan of the ancient world. Could stretch more than 6 meters from one tip to another. For comparison, that is wider than many modern vehicles on our roads. Yet despite its enormous size, Argentavis could fly with incredible natural grace. And it did so with a remarkable efficiency that modern birds envy. Argentavis did not need to flap its wings constantly to stay aloft. Instead, it used rising columns of warm air to gain altitude easily. The ground heated beneath the sun, sending warm air toward the heavens. And the giant bird followed it upward, higher and higher into the sky. With almost no effort, Argentavis could remain above the ancient landscape.
Below, rivers cut through valleys where forests stretched toward the distant mountains.
And herds of prehistoric animals moved across the golden plains below. From the sky, Argentavis could see everything that moved in its world. For an animal this large, flight was not simply a matter of strength. It was about efficiency and the perfect mastery of every single movement. Every feather had a purpose, designed to conserve precious energy during flight. The shape of the wings and the ability to read the wind were essential. Argentavis was not merely a bird, but an extraordinary flying machine of nature. From above, the ancient world looked different, with no borders or roads. Only rivers, forests, and endless wilderness belonged to the giants of the sky.
Argentavis could travel across this enormous landscape searching for its next meal.
For millions of years, the sky belonged to giants such as this. But giant birds were not limited to the vast prehistoric skies above. On a distant island, another extraordinary lineage had taken a different path. Madagascar, isolated from the world, became a laboratory for evolutionary wonders. Here, birds grew to enormous sizes and eventually lost their flight. And among the largest of these island giants were the elephant birds. Vorombe titan was one of the largest elephant birds ever known. It could not fly, but it did not need to on this island. Its enormous body dominated the forest floor, safe from most predators. Its powerful legs carried its incredible weight with every steady step. Imagine walking through this ancient forest and seeing a bird this large. Far across the ocean, another island produced its own unique giants. New Zealand was once the home to the remarkable moa species. Some species were small, but others were truly enormous in scale. They had long legs, powerful bodies, and absolutely no functional wings. For millions of years, They moved through these forests in peace. They lived without the large mammalian predators found in other lands. But their world contained another remarkable creature that came from above. High above the ancient forests, the Haast's eagle kept watch. It was one of the largest and most powerful eagles ever. Its body was pure muscle, and its talons were truly enormous.
Below, the moa moved through the forest, unaware of the sky.
The relationship between these two giants was one of life and death. For a few seconds, the entire landscape becomes a desperate struggle. But the outcome of the hunt was never a guaranteed success. Even a giant eagle could fail in this powerful nature. But even the greatest giants could not escape a changing world.